What if disappearing isn't weakness, but the ultimate power play? She left assuming you'd stay broken, but what if you came back untouchable? This isn't silence. This is your rebirth in motion, and she won't see it coming. What if I told you the more you chase her, the faster she runs? What if the key to making her miss you isn't in your words, your texts, or your desperate attempts to fix what's already broken, but in your complete and utter absence? Think about that. When a woman pulls away, most men panic. They cling. They cry. They overthink every second of silence, like it's a life or death situation. But a Stoic man, a man forged in self-control and resilience, he doesn't chase what chooses to leave. He becomes a ghost. Not the kind that disappears in bitterness or revenge, but one that evolves in silence. He detaches. He rebuilds. And without ever saying a word, he becomes unforgettable. This isn't just about making her miss you. It's about making her regret losing you. It's about transforming yourself into someone she can't reach anymore. Not physically, not emotionally, not mentally, because you're not the same man she walked away from. You've upgraded, and now you hold the power. In this video, we're diving deep. 10 unshakable principles rooted in Stoicism and sharpened by dark psychology. You'll learn how to stop bleeding energy, how to weaponize silence, and how to turn heartbreak into pure dominance. So, if you're ready to stop being haunted and become the ghost instead, let's begin. If you're done feeling powerless, if you're ready to shift the energy, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Number 1, silence is a weapon. She expects a reaction. She wants drama. She wants to know she still matters. That her words, her actions, her decision to leave you got to you. She's waiting for the notification. That one last message where you spill your heart, where you tell her you can't eat, can't sleep, can't think straight without her, that you're falling apart, that she still has power over you. But you give her nothing. No calls, no texts, no updates, not even a cryptic post that says, "I'm fine." Just silence. And suddenly you become the loudest voice in the room. Silence is not weakness. It's not avoidance. It's strategy. When you go silent, you're not running. You're removing access. You're not punishing her. You're protecting your energy. You're not ghosting. You're letting her sit in the emptiness she created. Most men get loud when they feel abandoned. They beg. They bargain. They try to force closure like it's something owed to them. But here's the truth. She already decided what you were worth to her. Now let her feel the consequences of that decision without interference, because silence makes people uncomfortable, especially when they expected chaos. Your quiet presence becomes louder than any desperate words ever could. She'll start checking your socials. She'll ask mutual friends what's going on. She'll wonder if you've moved on. Why? Because now you're the unknown. And in dark psychology, the unknown is magnetic. We chase what we can't figure out. We crave what slips through our fingers. That's why silence works. It doesn't beg. It doesn't plead. It haunts. So no, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to fight for someone who let you go. You just need to vanish with self-respect intact and let the silence speak. Because in the war of attention, the one who says less holds the most power. If you're done explaining yourself, if you're ready to speak through silence, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my power. Number 2, stop romanticizing pain. You miss her. That's real. The heartbreak is heavy. The nights are long. Your mind replays the good times like a broken record, skipping over the parts where she pulled away, where she made you feel small, where she chose distance. But instead of healing, you sit in it. You nurse it. You wear the pain like a badge. You romanticize it like it's some tragic love story. But here's the truth. Pain is not love. Pain is not proof that what you had was deep. Pain is what happens when you place your worth in someone else's hands. And they drop it. The Stoic doesn't drown in his wounds. He studies them. He learns. He adapts. He does not feed the fire of self-pity because he knows the world isn't changed by men who wallow. It's changed by men who rise. Dark psychology shows us this, too. People are drawn to strength, not suffering. If she checks in and sees you spiraling, she feels justified. But if she sees growth, peace, silence, that's when regret kicks in. That's when she questions what she walked away from. You're not meant to be a sad poem or a broken song lyric. You're meant to be a fortress. The kind of man who feels the pain, but doesn't let it define him. Let it fuel you, not finish you. So stop clinging to pain like it's proof you loved her more. Stop using sadness as a shortcut to feel depth. Real strength is moving forward even when every part of you wants to turn back. If you're done drowning in memories, if you're ready to turn pain into power, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My strength is greater than my sorrow. Number 3, detach to win. The more you chase her, the faster she slips away. That's not just poetic, it's biological. Human beings don't value what's easily available. Especially in relationships, the person who is less emotionally invested holds the power. That's the brutal truth. And yet, most men, when hurt, do the exact opposite. They double down. They confess more. They obsess. They stay emotionally loyal to a person who's already emotionally gone. But the Stoic knows better. He knows that detachment is not the absence of love. It's the presence of self-respect. It's knowing that if someone can walk away from your life, you don't chain yourself to the memory of their presence, you don't make them your god. You don't give your peace away just to keep them comfortable. Detachment is strategy. It's survival. It's strength. And ironically, it's the only thing that ever makes them come back. Because when you stop needing someone, their value shifts. When your world no longer revolves around them, you become something new in their eyes. A loss, a void, something they can't control. Dark psychology backs this up. People crave validation from the ones who withhold it. When you pull back, you become rare. When you detach, you create distance, and distance breeds desire. It triggers curiosity. It makes her question if you ever really needed her at all or if she imagined her grip on you. You win not by holding tighter, but by letting go without flinching. You detach not out of bitterness, but because your soul is not for sale. You stop feeding the fantasy. You accept the loss. And in doing so, you become unforgettable. If you're done clinging to ghosts, if you're ready to let go with dignity, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Detachment is my discipline. Number 4, rebuild without her. She left a hole. That's real. Maybe she took your confidence with her. Maybe your routines collapsed, your drive evaporated, your vision blurred. That's heartbreak. It hits like a wrecking ball. But here's the part most men miss. What gets destroyed in heartbreak can be rebuilt. And not just rebuilt, rebuilt stronger, sharper, smarter. The Stoic doesn't sit in the ruins crying over what fell. He starts laying bricks quietly, relentlessly. He hits the gym. He sharpens his mind. He creates goals not to impress her, but to evolve beyond her. Because once someone walks away from your life, you owe them nothing. Not your sadness, not your loyalty, not your breakdown. Use the energy of heartbreak as fuel. Let the pain shape you into someone you wouldn't even recognize a year ago. The type of man who no longer needs her to feel valuable, validated, or seen. Because here's the twist. When you stop trying to show her what she lost and start becoming someone you gain, everything shifts. This is the dark side of attraction. People are magnetized by transformation. They regret when they see what you became without them. And they hate the fact that you didn't stay broken for their comfort. So, building in silence with fire, let your life be the loudest response. And when she comes back, and she will, make sure she can't recognize the man you've become. Because you didn't evolve for her, you evolved for you. If you're done breaking for people who walked away, if you're ready to rebuild without apology, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise in silence. Number 5, cut the supply. She's not reaching out, but she's still watching, liking your posts, responding to your stories, sending mixed signals, leaving the door cracked just enough, so you don't fully move on. And you keep feeding her. You give her attention, validation, energy, hoping she'll realize what she lost. Stop. Attention is a currency. And the moment she pulled away, she stopped earning it. But every like, every just checking in text, every emotional breadcrumb you drop is fuel. Fuel for her ego, fuel for her comfort, fuel for her belief that she can leave and still have access to your energy. The Stoic man doesn't do half measures. He doesn't keep doors halfway open. He understands this fundamental truth. What you allow, you endorse. So when you keep giving energy to someone who's no longer in your life, you're choosing self-betrayal. You're pouring water into a broken cup. Cut the supply. Not to manipulate, not to punish, but to protect you. You don't owe your presence to someone who treated it like a convenience. You owe it to yourself to reserve your energy for people who show up fully, not half-heartedly. Dark psychology makes it simple. People want what they can't reach. And when the energy stops flowing, curiosity begins to grow. They wonder where you went, why you're quiet, why the man who used to orbit around them vanished. But you didn't vanish. You just redirected your focus back to yourself. If you're done feeding what doesn't feed you, if you're ready to reclaim your value, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My attention is earned, not given. Number 6, master emotional control. She used to have access to your emotions like a remote control. Push a button and you'd react. A cold text, a delayed response, or even silence from her could send you spiraling. You'd overthink, question your worth, craft the perfect reply just to feel something from her again. That's not love. That's addiction. But the Stoic doesn't hand his emotions over. He guards them like a vault. He knows the highest form of strength isn't how loud you can be, it's how calm you can stay. When you master emotional control, you become unpredictable. And in a world that feeds on reactions, unpredictability is power. She expects the emotional outburst. She expects you to care loudly. But when you stop reacting, when her coldness is met with warmth, not for her, but for yourself, that throws everything off. Suddenly, she's not sure where she stands. Because emotional control is the ultimate reversal. It shifts the power dynamic without you saying a word. Dark psychology shows that the person who controls the frame controls the outcome. If she triggers you, she owns you. But if you remain centered, if your peace stays intact regardless of what she does or doesn't do, you own yourself. And that makes you untouchable. Control isn't about suppression. It's about redirection. You feel everything, but you choose your response. And that choice is your weapon, because the man who can remain calm in chaos, he becomes unforgettable. If you're done being emotionally hijacked, if you're ready to own your reactions, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control the frame. Number 7, become unreachable. She knew where to find you. You were always there. Quick reply, emotional availability, attention on demand. You made it easy, predictable, safe. But predictable doesn't create desire. It creates comfort. And comfort breeds complacency. Now you're not where she left you. The Stoic man doesn't just disappear physically. He becomes emotionally and mentally unreachable. He levels up in silence. He builds a life so full, so focused, so elevated that she wouldn't even know how to reach him anymore. Not because he's hiding, but because she no longer has the map. When you become unavailable, you become desirable. It's the paradox of attraction. People chase what they can't pin down. When you're constantly online, always watching her stories, still commenting, still liking, she knows she still has you. There's no mystery, no distance, no longing. But when she sees you out there living, growing, winning without her, and doing it without announcing it, that silence becomes deafening. That absence becomes haunting. It makes her wonder. And wonder is where the missing begins. Dark psychology confirms this. Scarcity creates value. The less accessible you are, the more people assign meaning to your presence. Be hard to reach, not to play games, but because your life demands your full attention. Because you're building something real, and because you've moved from being available to being valuable. If you're done being her backup plan, if you're ready to become a mystery she can't decode, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence speaks volumes. Number 8, don't prove your worth, show it. When she walked away, something inside you lit up. This need to prove, to show her you were good enough to post, to flex, to accidentally let her see what she lost. But here's the truth. The moment you try to prove your worth, you're admitting you don't believe in it. The Stoic doesn't beg to be seen. He doesn't explain his value. He becomes undeniable. And the only way to do that is through evolution. Quiet, relentless personal evolution. No announcements, no revenge body captions, no posts trying to get her attention. Just cold, focused growth. Dark psychology makes it clear people respect the ones who don't seek their approval. When you stop trying to impress her, you flip the dynamic. You become the standard, not the applicant. You stop needing validation, and start moving like a man who knows exactly who he is and what he brings to the table. Let your life speak. Let your results speak. Let your new silence, your new glow, your new focus speak. Because when she sees you doing well and not trying to show her, that's when the regret hits the hardest. That's when she realizes she's not even on your radar anymore. This isn't about proving anything to her. It's about showing everything to yourself that you were never broken, just temporarily distracted. If you're done seeking validation, if you're ready to move like you know your worth, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I prove nothing. I become everything. Number 9, let her regret you in silence. You don't have to rub it in. You don't need to send that look at me now text. You don't need to drop a quote on your story that's clearly aimed at her. That's not strength. That's insecurity dressed as swagger. If she's going to regret losing you, and believe me, if you followed the path so far, she will let her sit with that regret alone. The Stoic doesn't chase closure. He is the closure. He walks away with calm eyes and a quiet fire because he knows that real power is walking past what tried to break you without looking back. Let her feel your absence not through pettiness but through peace. Let her realize what she lost, not because you told her, but because your life without her is better than it ever was with her. Dark psychology is ruthless in its simplicity. The more you react, the less powerful you are. But when you respond with nothing, that creates a vacuum, a silence so heavy it crushes her illusion of control. She'll wonder if she even mattered to you. She'll spiral in her own mind. That's where regret is born. Not from your words, but from her thoughts, her doubts, her slow realization that the man she left behind no longer exists. Let her regret you, but let it echo in silence. Let her scroll through your life and feel the distance. Let her sit with a version of you she'll never get again. If you're done trying to make her see, if you're ready to let your absence teach the lesson, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I let silence do the talking. Number 10, the ghost. She can't touch. You've done it all. You've gone silent. You've detached. You've rebuilt. You've leveled up beyond recognition. And now you're not just gone. You're untouchable. You've become the ghost she can't reach because you no longer exist in the world she once knew. She might try to circle back. She might test the waters. A random message, a late night hey. But she won't find the man who used to drop everything just to feel close to her. That man's gone. What stands in his place is calm, focused, stoic, scarred maybe, but stronger for it. You don't block her out of bitterness. You don't move on out of spite. You do it because you've elevated past the need for her validation. You've become a man who doesn't chase, who doesn't need to be seen to feel significant. A man who commands attention without even trying because he's too busy building, thriving, living. Dark psychology calls it unavailable allure. The energy of someone who is just out of reach, and whose silence speaks louder than presence ever could. You're no longer posting for her. No longer hoping she watches. You've become the mystery she can't solve. The peace she can't disrupt. The echo that lingers long after she's gone. You're not bitter. You're better. You're not hiding. You've just moved on to a level she can't access. And now you're the one haunting her. If you're done chasing, if you're ready to become the ghost she can't touch, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am the one who got away. So, now you know. This isn't about games. It's not about revenge. It's about rebirth. Every man who's ever been broken by love faces a choice. Stay stuck in the shadows of what was, or rise silent and focused into what could be. You chose silence over chaos, discipline over desperation, power over pain. And that makes you dangerous in the best way possible. Remember, the man who can walk away, who can control his emotions, who doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, doesn't fold under pressure, becomes unforgettable. You didn't lose her. She lost access to a version of you that no longer exists. And now you're not just missed, you're haunting. This is Stoic blessing. And you're not broken. You're becoming untouchable.